Hey everybody, it's Brad at Dayport Brothers LLC out in Versailles, Ohio. Going to do another walk around video followed by an operational video on this 1996 Caterpillar 416B backhoe that came in and we're putting up for sale. Like always, I'll walk around, I'll talk about the features and functions. We'll get up close to everything, show you everything that I see, and then of course we'll fire it up, run it through its paces, show you all the pins, show you the hydraulics are strong, let you see the brakes are good and strong, let you hear the engine. Run all the functions so you can see everything works like it's supposed to. As always, if you are in the market for a used backhoe, a used piece of construction equipment, or a used piece of ag equipment, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Your likes and subscriptions help other people who are looking for equipment find our videos and find our machines, and we truly do appreciate that. All right, like I said, this one's a 1996 Cat 416B. 3,340 hours. Apologies in advance, it's a little windy out here and it's been raining non-stop. As you can see, there's a lot of mud and water laying around our lot, so the windows and the machine are wet from the rain. Finally just quit. Cab with heat, 4-wheel drive, ExtendaHoe, 2-stick controls, and like I said, 3,340 hours on a working hour meter. Hydraulics are very strong. Pins up here are pretty tight, you'll see here in a little bit. There's a little bit of play, but they're fairly tight, far from sloppy. Nothing I wouldn't expect for 3,300 hours. And like I said, the hydraulics are very strong. As I get up close to it, you'll see this is a very nice machine for the age. The yellow paint here is still fairly bright. Typical paint chips and scratches up here just from use and time, but fairly straight here. Loader arm on this side's really good. That sheet metal here is really good. We have all the sheet metal. I have the little engine side enclosures, both of them, one on each side. I have them off already so that I can get up close to that later and try to show you the best I can inside there. But very straight up here. All this engine sheet metal is nice and straight. Loader arms are nice and straight, and as you can see, fairly bright. Front tire on this side, very deep tread bars left. I'm gonna say we're at least 75 to 80%. I think I'm being very fair there. Nice and deep tread bars. No weather checking to speak of here. Sidewall's good. Looking at the rim here, as you can see, that yellow paint's fairly bright, especially for a 96 machine. Does have scuffs, scratches, and stuff like that around the edges, and inside there you can see some paint chips. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Typical of these, just down here, rusted at the bottom there, dirt collects in there and they rust out, but it does not appear to have been ever in salt or fertilizer or anything like that. The battery box down here, and then the doors are pretty well the only thing that show the rust. We'll get up close to the doors here in a little bit, but fender nice and straight here. A couple little scuffs and scratches, no huge dents or dings underneath the fenders. As you can see here, no excessive rust, no rust through that I can see anywhere on the fenders. Actually look pretty darn good underneath the fenders, which is not common for a machine of this era. Like I said, pretty darn nice. Looking at the rear tire on this side, pretty deep tread bars there. I'm gonna say we're 60% or better. I think I'm being very fair there. No weather checking to speak of. Sidewall looks good. Taking a step back, looking at the rim on this side, as you can see, there is some paint flaking off there, especially in that middle section, but pretty straight around the edges. No huge dents or dings around the edge there. Outrigger, everything looks pretty good here. Looks fairly dry. No hydraulic oil that I'm seeing there. Same thing here. Those cylinders don't appear to be wet with hydraulic oil. Looking at the boom and the stick, obviously, as you can see here, while the sun's kind of coming out there, pretty darn bright and very straight. I don't see any cracks or welds or plating on the boom or the stick. Bucket's in good shape. Looks like maybe 12-inch bucket probably. Didn't measure that, but taking a good look here. This cylinder doesn't look like it's got hydraulic oil running down it, just rainwater here. I say it with any old used machine. I'm sure if you go over it with a fine tooth comb, you're gonna find a seep or something somewhere, but I am not seeing anything where anything was pouring out of it. We had it in our shop overnight. Pulled it out this morning to do some photos and videos, and then of course it started raining. Everything looks good here. Again, this side, I don't see any cracks or welds or plating on this side either. Everything looks pretty good there. This outrigger, again, pretty good there. Surface rust here on this back, black metal, just where the paint's chipped off and wore off. Obviously, it's a 29-year-old machine. Looking underneath the fender on this side, again, I don't see anywhere on this side with any rust through on the fender. And up top here, fender's pretty straight. Just typical nicks and scratches here and there in the paint. Rear tire on this side is very similar to the other side. No real weather checking to speak of there. Sidewall looks pretty good as well. And then the rear rim on this side, pretty similar to the other side. Kind of got some paint chipped off there in that middle section. But the outer edges, everything looks pretty good there. Over here on this side, you don't get that bottom edge rusting out on this side because this is the diesel tank that doesn't get dirt collected down in it. That other side is the batteries, and just dust and dirt gets in there, and then they draw moisture and it just rusts out. Very common on these old 416Bs. Pretty good there. Looking at the front tire on this side, very, very similar to the other side. Deep tread bars there. No real weather checking to speak of. And looking at the front rim on this side, again, just scuffs, scratches, typical of a 29-year-old backhoe. Nothing egregious, nothing out of the ordinary. Looking at the sheet metal over here on this side, again, very straight. That yellow paint's fairly bright for a 97 model machine. Again, I have this shield. I just already took it off. It's hard to do without both hands with that linch pin. Everything looks pretty good here. This loader arm on this side, again, I don't see any cracks or welds or plating anywhere. Looks like it's been greased. I mean, there's grease in most all the joints pretty well. Take a good look at the bucket. A little bit of cement splatter in the back of that bucket, but very straight. I don't see any big bows in the bucket. A very good cutting edge on that bucket. And I think, if I remember right from earlier, we've already done the operational video. I think it's very good on the backside too. Yep, it's a reversible cutting edge. It's new on the backside. So lots of life left in that cutting edge, and that bucket's in really good shape. I'll get up as close as I can. Obviously, it's hard with these older machines to get into the engine very close. But we did take both off. We've checked all the fluids. I didn't notice a bunch of oil or diesel running down the side of the block or anything like that. I know it's kind of hard to see in there. Sorry, it's the best I can do with this camera setup and the way that these side shields work on these older machines. A little bit of a dent right there in that front piece, but that front grill's fairly straight other than that. Again, can't get in super close. Try to hold still so you can see the best you can. Fairly dry in there. I'm not seeing any oil or diesel stains or anything running down the side of the block. Climb up here. Everything looks pretty good up here. That radiator, best I can show you down in there. Okay, we'll take a look at the cab. This front windshield has a spider web crack through it. I'll try to show you that up close from the inside. Like I said, the doors, they're notorious on these. They start rusting out right here, here. You see some spots there. So it's really just the doors and then this bottom down here. The other side door has pretty well the same. But when you open it up in here, everything's pretty darn good here. And this door jamb, as you can see, nothing's rusted out there. Floor mat's pretty darn good. Got a little mud for me climbing in and out of it, and Ross climbing in and out of it here this morning. Running it around. Brake pedals are good. Gear selector. Throttle pedal's good. Taking a look at the seat. That lower cushion's in good shape. I don't see any cuts or tears there. Same thing with that back cushion, pretty darn good, and I'm not seeing any cuts or tears. Both armrests are in good shape, especially for a 96 model machine. A lot of times you see these are deteriorated real bad, and these are actually in really good shape. 2 stick controls. As you can see in here, this gray plastic is actually fairly straight, and that black's even pretty bright still. So I told you 3340 on the hours. We've been running around testing it out. Hour meter does work. It's actually 3341 now. I think it was 3340.8 when we got it in. So we put about half an hour on it, testing everything out. And like I said, the hour meter does work. All the glass back here seems to be good. It's just that front windshield. Like I said, I'll show you that a little closer here. There's a spider webbing. It's a hairline crack here and right there. I don't know how well you guys can see them, but there are 2 little cracks there. Otherwise, everything's pretty darn clean. Forward reverser, gear shift pattern. I did check both the detent down here for the D clutch and the one on your loader controls. Both seem to be working like they're supposed to. Honestly, a very clean machine in here for the age. Does have some dirt and stains on the headliner, as you can see there. And some dust here and there. All right, like I said, it's a 1996 416B. Lots of photos on our website. That's listed down below in the description. If you have any questions, comment down below. We'll try to answer them for you. We'll get right into the operational video.